Tara, since your connection's good now, why don't you tell us what you think?
Well, uh, actually, I don't have much to say about this because do you want me to talk about the problem or solution? 'Cause
Well,
I don't have.
well, both as much as you can. I mean, as much as you can. Just maybe look at it from your own perspective. I mean, think about it from, you know, first of all, do you think it's a problem? Maybe some people don't think it's a problem. So, do you think it's a problem? If it is a problem, I mean, does it create, how do I say it? More social issues? Does it create, we talked briefly yesterday about you have people that maybe resort to acts of violence. Uh, it creates maybe more division between people. I mean, those are the kind of impacts that potentially it could have, right?
Yes, but I think at it as like a reality
Hmm.
that we can't change it because people who earn more money than others, they are earn it by uh, doing hard work,
Hmm.
and people should learn skills and earn more money. And I don't blame government or for all the poverty. I
Hmm.
think we should do better as an individual.
Hmm.
And also uh, about charity, well, I'm against low taxes, so uh, I think charity is better, and we do have it, but government can do things like, for example, investment, do more investment in countries, and
Hmm.
also,
Oh, she was doing good too. Oh my gosh. We'll see if she comes back. We'll see. We'll see if okay, I think she's back. Oh, now she's gone. Back gone, back gone, back gone. Uh, so we live in a world where the internet is not perfect, huh? Okay. Maybe one day everybody in the world will have perfect internet. Okay. Uh, are you back, Tara? Okay. Um, so let me summarize what she said, just in case people didn't hear what she said. Let me summarize it. Basically, she said we can't change anything in terms of the income inequality. Don't blame the government. It's important. People need to take responsibility for their own success in terms of wealth or financial. Um, and they need to learn the skills in order to be able to get those good jobs that pay higher wages. Um, and then she made a comment about low taxes, but I wasn't quite sure what she meant about that. Uh, okay, so that's what she said. She's having a hard time. So let's go ahead. We'll go to the next person, and when she's able to come back, uh, we'll try to have her say what she thinks. Okay, so Anna, you're here. Your internet is good, I think. Maybe.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
So what do you think about this topic?
Inequality from just financial point of view.
Hmm. Hmm.
Financial point of view. I think some it is related to the government and because of this, for example, people should have jobs. So what is happening in our country? Government is trying to do something, okay, but the government has increased a lot of universities. And a lot of people easily go to the universities, governmental, non-governmental, and when they are out of the university with a degree, they like to find a job related to that degree. Okay, they cannot do it in the most of the times because there is no job position with that degree and exactly that major. So the guy tries to find another way, another somehow related job to his degree, and maybe he succeeds, maybe he does not succeed. Okay, the people who does not succeed doesn't like to do another job related to their major, and for example, related even to the for example certificates, any kind of certificates. For example, labor work. They do not like to do labor work because they think that now they are classy, they have bachelor or master or doctorate, so they shouldn't do that. So they remain poor. I exactly know, one guy, he doesn't have any job. When I say, okay, just, go, just, try to be, sales keeper, I mean, shopkeeper or something, try to trade something. And he says, no, I have Master of Science. I like to be a professor in the university. And his age is high and he cannot be employed at all. So it is his fault. Maybe he has taken the action for such things. I mean, taking this getting the certificate very late, and now he doesn't have any opportunity to work in the universities. But he just insists to be such places, educational places. So it is his fault. But sometimes it's not the people's fault, because I see some poor families, they have a lot of children, and the opportunity is not good for the education, even high school education of the children. So even some of them drop the school. So these people, it just depends to the efforts of that person, that this person can have a motivation. For example, the person says, okay, I have a poor family, I should support them, I should support myself. Then he's successful. But if he thinks, okay, this is this was my for example destiny, and I'm not lucky to have what is it a strong family, rich family, so I will go on like this. So he will be even a trouble in the, for example, in the society. Maybe a smuggler, maybe a beggar, I don't know, something like that.
So
Richard,
you
I forgot what I wanted to say. I think I developed it too much.
Well, so your point is that when people when people feel marginalized, because of their economic situation, that in some cases they will resort to to certain things that normally they wouldn't do because they feel desperate, or they feel like they don't have any other options, right?
Yes. For
Okay.
example, when they don't have money to investigate, in some jobs, so they will, go towards, any kind of, bad jobs.
Right, right, right. Okay, okay, okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Um, huh. So this friend of yours. So you made a comment. I'm looking at what I wrote down. So this is a problem that happens not just in your country, but again, a lot of countries where a lot of people get an education, but the economic opportunity is not there for the areas that they study in for their majors, right?
Yes.
Okay. What would you do about that? What would be your solution? How should people, do something about that?
In the first step, they should take care, because some people uh, just choose a major to have a certificate.
Mhm.
They do not think about the future of that major. Maybe job positions are filled, and so maybe the guy should see the country. needs what kind of major more, and what kind of majors in the university will have a good future, good future after graduation. A lot of people do not do this. A lot of people just, choose a major just
Yeah.
to get a certificate, and then they think about the job. That's the problem.
You just said something, and Johnny and Jamila are going to laugh, maybe, I don't know. But you just said something that to me is so, so, so important. I wish So was here because then I could say so important. But the point is that this happens a lot, not just in your country, but in many, 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 many countries that, for whatever reason, whether they think that, okay, if I go to school for 4 years and I get a piece of paper, they don't really think about, we have something that we call, and I gave a presentation when I was in Tunisia at a workshop to talk about, what do they call that? Skills gap. So what that means is that you have these colleges or universities that are graduating a lot of people, but the economic opportunities, the industries are not looking for those kind of people. They're looking for people that have a different academic background. Okay, so you could take the example of a country maybe that a lot of people are getting a degree in agriculture. Okay, but maybe the companies they are looking for engineers. Okay, you could take the example of English. Maybe someone gets a degree as in education, but maybe most of the jobs are in IT or software development. Okay, so you're 100% right. You're 100% right that is one of the biggest problems. And a lot of people, when they're 17, 18, 19 years old, they don't think about that. They just think, okay, I want to get in school. I can live with my parents. They're not going to give me a hard time because I'm in school. But they don't think about what happens after school. They don't look at that. They look at the next 3 or 4 years. They don't think about 8 years, 10 years from now. Okay.
Yes.
That's a big, 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 big problem. I don't know how many times, and Jamila and Johnny, this is exactly why when we talk to Amin in Tunisia or when we think about the services that we provide, this is exactly why that is so important. So, so incredibly important.
And as I heard, in Japan, it doesn't happen. They teach the children, they tell the children from their childhood that what they need at the future, what majors, what positions, what jobs they need at the future. So you see how Japan is, an advanced country. Everything is correct in Japan.
Hiroki, you're a Japanese expert. Come
on. Some kids have that, but some other kids doesn't have that. I don't know other country situation, but sometimes job training or such kind of thing. Maybe for many students, ordinary students, the purpose of the school days is for entering university, and then many people don't think about it. Many students, some students or some parents think that seriously, or some teacher. But I don't know. But at least school has such kind of guidance. A teacher has a guidance to what. But mainly focus on university entering exam. Actually, I don't know. At least at my age, I don't know now, but that is.
So your entrance exam for the university is hard, like ours?
My life course is different from other people because I entered the university after not teenage days, but I wanted to go to the university. So I keep studying English. So and then my friend was studying university at that time. I asked him how to enter university in that age, because sorry, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
No. Just sorry to interrupt. I asked it generally. In my country, enter the university is hard because of the, a hard entrance exam we have. So, in this part, a lot of people, just want to enter the university. They don't care about any major. They just like to
Mm,
enter the university to get a certificate. That's like it's like that. So I just wanted to ask you that, is that the same in your country? Your entrance exam for the university is
uh,
hard, or no? In the beginning, entrance is good, okay,
okay.
but in the for example, exiting from the university is hard, like European or American, I think,
Uh,
universities. You should
okay.
learn and go out,
Yes.
in other
Actually,
countries.
Excuse
that,
me, can I ask a question?
Well, yeah. Let Hiroki respond to her real quickly, Bijan, please. So go ahead,
Oh,
Hiroki.
okay.
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 The number of children is reducing rapidly here. So actually, if the student wants, number of universities afford, all kids can get into the university. But if you want to get into some renowned university, it's hard. It's difficult. So it's up to the universities here.
Okay. Bijan, you got a question?
Yes, I want to ask that about the. Mm, I couldn't understand that how you talk about the uh, effect of education and I mean. Going to university and graduating, I mean, having a certificate, but uh, I want to ask it that do you mention this effect as an effect of inequality of or disparities in, I mean, financial services access?
Some company or also big company requires BA degree, and also foundation account base salary is different from higher educated people. So that's maybe one reason. But nowadays, many people who graduate from university cannot get the status position in the company. So it's collapsing now. Such kind of system is collapsing now. Also, Japanese university in general, it's easy. It is said it's easier to. It's difficult to enter, but easier to graduate. And maybe for not freshman, sophomore, and I forgot the word. Third grade, I forgot the word of university. Many students began to focus on their, uh, to the activity to get a job. So they don't. Some of them they don't going to go to the university. That's also the problem of the Japanese university education.
Okay. Let's go ahead. Thank you very much, Anna, for what you said, and thank you for responding. Let's go back to Tara real fast since she's still here, and we want to be able to see if she had anything else she wanted to add to what she said. Tara, did you want to add anything since looks like your connection is better?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay. No, I forgot what I was
Well,
saying.
let me tell you what you said. I wrote it down. Let me tell
Okay.
you what you said.
Okay.
So you said you can't really change the situation. You did say you can't blame the government. People need to take individual responsibility. They need to learn them skills if they want to get a better wage. And I think you said the last thing you said is against. I think you said against low taxes. I think that's what you said.
Okay. Yes. Well, first, I think young people in general, they must try to learn necessary skills that are required in labor
Okay.
before finishing studying. For example, computer skills are if you have computer skills, you pretty much you'll ensure your future.
Mhm.
In my country, I'm speaking, and also there's another thing that I notice in my country.
Mhm.
Well, people here, if you work as a street cleaner, for
Mhm.
example, say society will look at you at not in a really good way. So young people should change their attitude toward works. Uh, if you should accept to work as a street cleaner instead of staying out of work. And also, I think government should develop private sectors to increase opportunity for the young peoples. And yeah, must start work earlier by themselves and avoid waiting till they graduated and stuff like that.
Okay, okay, that's very interesting. You brought up a lot of good points there.
Thank you.
You know, a lot of people won't take lower paying jobs because they feel like it's beneath them, right? They feel like
Yes. Yeah.
it's a reputation thing, and I think that's kind of silly. I think any job, particularly if you don't have a job, any job is
Yeah.
important. Uh, and all jobs should be respected, regardless of what it is. If you're cleaning the street, if you're a plumber, electrician, all jobs have value, right?
Yes,
So we should,
exactly.
yeah,
After all, you're doing it for money.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's the
And
main point.
but you did say one thing. I want to ask you a question. You said we
Okay.
shouldn't blame you said we shouldn't blame the government, but doesn't the government have a responsibility to provide training programs for people? Don't they have a responsibility to help to look at the match
Well,
the education?
yeah, I agree. Well, I don't remember. I said we shouldn't blame, well, not all blame. We shouldn't put all blame on
Okay,
government,
okay, okay, okay,
not all.
okay,
I
okay,
think individuals should try to make their life better, the society better. After that, the government will be a huge help, of course,
okay.
but we must work together. That's my point.
Okay, no, good, good, very good. So what you're saying is there are three, if you don't mind, there are maybe four layers to this. One is the government. The next is maybe private industry, the companies, right?
Yeah.
The third might be the educational institutions that provide the necessary education to be able to get those jobs. So that's three. And the fourth one is going to be the individual that, of course, he or she has to take individual responsibility as well, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, okay, good, good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Very, very well said. And I'm glad you're back. Okay, well done.
Thank you. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
so anybody have any questions for, I'm sorry, Tara? Anybody have any questions about what she said?
Excuse me. I want to ask about the, do you believe that accumulation of higher skilled educated persons maybe affect on this inequality in society?
Do you understand, Tara?
Well, not sure. Can you rephrase it, please?
So, I
Rick,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
let
Can you?
me paraphrase what I think you said. So,
Okay.
do you believe, Tara, that when you have a society that has a lot of higher skilled people,
Mm-hmm.
like maybe people graduating in software development, engineering, you have maybe a disproportionate amount of people that are graduating. How does that impact or does it contribute to the income inequality?
Okay. Well, as I said before, there's not a absolute solution for that because of variety of jobs. for example, a street cleaner will always remain to get less salary as compared to an engineer. All right. So, but still, those points that I brought to you, I think it will make, not will solve the problem, but it will make the equality better.
Did
For
that
example,
answer? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, okay. No, that's all.
So did that answer your question, Bijan?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Welcome.
All right.
Thank you.
Good job. Good
I have a
job.
question.
Go ahead, Johnny.
She basically gave 3 suggestions, right? 3 points.
I guess so. I don't know.
What if none of them work?
Well, we will live in poverty, maybe.
Or in wealth?
Why do you think that?
Interesting question.
Okay.
Basically, because the way that you started, saying that nothing is gonna change. People are gonna still do the same things. People are gonna be the same way. So what if that no matter what you suggest, nothing's gonna change? So what then?
What then? Well, we should think of another things. We don't know. Well, I was speaking about my country as I looked at the problems, and in general, I'm always interested about how young people in my country, they remain without jobs till the government find them a job. I think that's a lazy thing. They should learn skills, and they should work hard and try to invest stuff like that. And by that, maybe things will change. Sorry, hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Continue.
Did I answer you?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it just comes down to the bottom line. What you're saying, Tara, is that people have to take responsibility for their life, right? That's kind of the
Yes.
bottom line.
Yes.
There's certain policy. Well, I won't get into what I think, but okay. So people have to take responsibility. Okay. There's always solutions, I believe. We just have to find them. Okay. Alrighty. So let me see. Mr. Hiroki, did you want to tell us? I know you spent some time answering honest questions. Did you want to tell us what you think, though?
Okay, and this question is for the economic equality, income equality.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, yeah, I think it's kind of problem here, and the somewhere in 1990s, Japanese government started kind of renewal of society because after the bubble economy blocked, and companies or the society faced a serious situation economically, and people expect that the construction, but as a result, I think 30% of Japanese workers now kind of cannot get a stable position of the company. They hired as a working dispatched company, and working dispatch company, send a worker to the company, so they cannot get enough salary, also enough stable position, also enough social welfare. I mean, for example, pension. And so also 20% of workers, maybe because of that the construction suffers from the working poor, and also many single pair mother, parents, also maybe mother, such family suffers the poverty, working poor, probably. So actually cause a lot of problem because if people got a motivation, if they can, their effort can be paid back in the future, and so maybe they they don't have get enough motivation to to work, or maybe also kind of economic hardship makes them situation unstable or mentally and physically. So as a result, middle class reduced, and middle class reduced. Middle class is a big for consumption actually. So as a result, economic itself is getting weak actually because people don't buy so many things like in the past. Also, rich people have and have not gap between that widen, and rich people is just maybe not so many people. So even though they can they can buy a lot of things, but maybe it's not a big for the consumption. Also, that's also the problem. Also, nowadays, many people, can enter the university, but it doesn't mean they all kids can get, because university cost tuition increased rapidly these 30 or 40 years. So many families cannot afford that. As a result, students rely on the student loan, and after that they have to return the student loan. Also, that's a big burden, economical big burden for even those who graduate from university, and some of them cannot get a stable position of the company. So maybe these are the problem happening here related to inequality of income.
Let me, okay, thank you, Hiroki. Does anybody have a question? Okay, Johnny, you have a question?
No.
Okay, so Hiroki, I have a question for you. So, you said Japan is a country that the population is decreasing.
Right.
So I don't understand why would it be harder for people to be able to find jobs? Aren't companies looking for people?
Actually, and also immigration problem. I heard maybe Japan, many foreign people working now in Japan, but they cannot immigrate into Japan. And what they are doing, maybe the convenience stores, kind of, maybe some jobs are available, but part-time jobs or something, but many people don't want to work there because it's hard work also kind of thing. So I don't know what's happening now exactly, but also senior citizen to take a nursery home of the senior citizen, they also suffer the lack of people because its job has a huge responsibility also because it's a matter of life and death matter, and they have to do a night shift like nurses, but their salary is pretty low actually. So such kind of social structure also causing this problem, I think.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, nobody else with any questions?
Excuse me.
Go ahead, Bijan.
I understood about the something Hierarchy said about the job problems. That there is, if we look at the organization of a circle of the jobs that produce a product. Some of positions, in your country there is no person to do that job, but some jobs have enough volunteers to do.
Volunteer? Are you talking about volunteer works?
No, I mean, is there any problem? For example, in Germany, some technical works. There is some technical workers that do very hard jobs, and these hard jobs done by immigrant workers from other countries. For example, in Germany, I know that some Turkish workers immigrate to Germany for doing these hard jobs. And do you have any problem about these hard working jobs?
Yes, so maybe as I told you, it's happening now actually because of the rapid decrease of the population, and many foreign workers start working in Japan. But I think Japanese system is worse than Germany probably because Japanese government never ever accept them as an immigrant. They have to return to their nation several years later.
Right. They're just on a they're on a work visa only. Yeah.
Kind of distinct system, for foreign workers.
Right.
Foreign workers coming here, and for using that system. But another problem is they cannot choose a job. Once they hire the company to come to Japan, they cannot change the company. So some company treated badly them. But even though they cannot change the company, that's also the problem actually. Low paid and hardworking and cannot change the job company.
So in theory, they could be even manipulated, are treated in a bad way, and they don't really have very many options, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and that happens a lot in countries, many countries. Which is really unfortunate. It even can be related sometimes to human trafficking, sometimes. But okay. All right, thank you, Hiroki, and good question, Bijan. Good question. So let's go on. Again, I want to make sure we get everybody. Mari, did you want to tell us what you think, please? Mari, are you?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. It's been a long time.
So what do you think?
I think inequality is not necessarily is a bad thing. It could even help a society to thrive. Obviously, if it's the result of hard work and being intelligent, obviously. But what I just said is just on paper or in a book. What we're really seeing in our society and the other societies, and is not like that. And this kind of inequality that happens when just money and power and everything become heritage, and just because you're a relative of someone with power or wealth, you would have it too, and you can take advantage of it. It's not a good thing, and it could lead the society to disappointment when you see someone have anything you want without hard working and without doing anything special. It would make you feel disappointed and let down. So you wouldn't try for it. So in this translation that was really happening, the society would stay where it is, and the people have not any anything to help them to go forward and try harder. And that's it.
Okay. So you think actually it can be a positive thing because it encourages people to increase their knowledge, to
Yeah.
it makes things more competitive, right?
Yeah, when you think one goal is reachable, you would try to get it. But when you see something so out of your hand, yeah, it might make you even stop trying.
Okay. Now, in your country, you're from the same country that Anna is from. In your country, and the same country Bijan is from, do you see this as a big problem in your country? And how do you find ways to, how do I say it, to encourage people to be able to gain these additional skills?
Obviously, I see that. I not even see that. I can feel that
Okay.
everywhere. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it is everywhere,
Okay.
even when you start in our family, when we start education, when we go after finding jobs, when we are at work, we see that all around ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and I think there is in other countries too. So, in order to make them go away, there are we should speak about it and talk about it and separately, and it totally depends to what inequality we are talking about. For example, inequality to having income. Yes, there are some poor people and there are some rich people. In order to make this distance lower, the only thing that comes to my mind is what I think Bijan said, and it is to wealthy people help poor people, not just by giving them money, by giving them opportunities and uh, giving them jobs. This way they can use their talents and also help them too. And it would help both ways.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of gaps would be filled more, I think, if they do that.
Okay. How about
Can I
how about, go ahead, Tara. Go ahead. Uh-huh.
can I ask something?
Sure.
When they are saying we think that they should or this or we think that they should rich people do this or that, are they talking about a specific law or what? Or it's like a hope?
No, it couldn't be just a law because inequality is have roots in governments too. So the organs that should be watching the rule and helping the rule happens. They also have this inequality and corruption too. So we cannot just count on them. No, I think it's my idea. It's all up to the people that have those wealth and power. We cannot count on our government. They wouldn't help us if we don't want it.
Can I add
They
something?
cannot do that too, because normally wealthy people control governments.
Mm-hmm.
So you can the government cannot cannot force them to do something.
Okay. Go ahead, Anna. Uh-huh.
I just wanted to say that, for example, when there is a position and it is announced and people want to participate in the position, because of the connections, as Mehdi said, most of these positions are dedicated to special people, wealthy or connected, with connection or whatever. So people always should try. They should try a lot of positions. For example, maybe 10% is for usual people. So maybe in one of the positions they get successful. It's like that, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. We have to learn a lot of skills that's maybe not even related to that job, just to find that position for ourselves, to have that. And while we do that, there are people that can have this job just with giving one paper from someone with wealth and power.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Marty. And good questions, Tara and Anna. So let's go to, very well done. Let's go to Sesh. Sesh, are you here? Do you want to say something?
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everybody.
Hey, how are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
Good.
But we in Russia have different view on these problems you have mentioned, because I think that in Russia, in former Soviet Union, people came very close to the decision of the problem you discuss now, like inequality on people. When some people are very rich and they have everything, and they have resources, they have money, they have education, they have plants, works, shops, everything, and other people are slaves. They actually have nothing. They can only work from morning till the evening and just have salary enough only to support themselves and not to die from hunger, not to die from coldness, and something like that. I don't know what people can do with that now. I don't know, actually. People burn, some people are burned smarter, some people are burned more stupid, some are more gifted, some are people lazy. I understand these things, but as far as I know, Bill Gates stole money from people who invest in IBM, and Bill Gates developed program like Windows. I don't know. I'm not specialist, but people invested in IBM, in corporation IBM, and Bill Gates organized Windows and something like that, and all developed programs were taken by him, by Bill Gates, and people who invested in IBM lost everything because of that very very interesting decision of Bill Gates. So my English isn't too good to explain these things unfortunately. So you get the idea. So I, being in Russia, I can't tell for sure if it's the truth or not. Maybe it's just false information, because you see that information, unfortunately, now is disinformation and don't give right view of the problems. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. You see, we had an opportunity in former Soviet Union when all people were equal. So nobody was allowed to have more money than others. Nobody was allowed to make some initiative who would lead to prosperous more than other people. So if some person was some kind outstanding, had suddenly more money than others, it was very suspicious, and police came to this person, this particular person, and asked questions, and usually police took away all what is additional, and people were equal in terms of social social position. Nobody was more poor than other, and nobody was more richer than other. But unfortunately, there were other problems, like initiative couldn't be developed. So people should obey the rules. People should just do what they wanted to do by some boss of the firm. So you see that the mankind, the humankind, didn't develop any decision, in real decision to these problems. We still are animals. People, human beings are still animals and more egoistic than altruists. So this decision only will be made when we consider each other brothers and sisters. So we will consider all we have common. It was like a communist idea. It was like Christian idea, like Jesus Christ. I think I sincerely believe that Jesus Christ declared these things to people, and that's why Jesus Christ was so popular among people. So ideas of equality, ideas of equality are still in the minds of people, but decision isn't made yet for these problems, unfortunately. Only when we stop being animals and behave like animals and start being like human beings, like some developed creatures, like spiritual creatures, only in this case we will solve these problems on equality. That's it. Thank you for having me. Sorry, my bad English.
No, Session, and happy to hear you again. Happy to have you back again. It's been a long time. So, again, I hope you're doing well. Okay, so I have one question, but I know Johnny has to go. So if you could make your response as quick as possible, that would be appreciated. So what I heard you say, I think what I heard you say is that you believe that a society should be one that all people have equal wealth, right?
Equal rights, at least at birth. So when my father get $1 million and another child has not million but $1 million who owns, like I can't say in English. So I have $1 million profit and another child has $1 million all doubt. He's in doubt of $1 million.
Right,
so
right.
we must be equal.
Okay.
One child and another child. So prosperity, very big sum of money can't be just go to children.
Okay, I get it. So I understand you. Your point is that people shouldn't be just given wealth; they should have to earn it. I think is what you're saying.
So very rich people can't give their richness to their children just for nothing.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Excuse me. You mean that we should change the values about the incomes, or I mean, sorry, outcomes of the jobs?
What do you mean?
Well, I tell you, Bijan, let's hold off, Bijan. Let's hold off on that question because I know Johnny has to leave as well. I think we'll have a chance. We still have about 20 minutes left, so let's go to that question if you don't mind, Bijan. After Johnny, I want to make sure everybody gets a chance, and then feel free to go ahead and ask that question again. So if you don't mind, please, Johnny, can you go ahead and tell us what you think?
Well, thank you, Rick. You're so kind to open up a
Uh,
space for me.
yeah,
Thank you.
go ahead.
Appreciate that.
Uh-huh.
I don't have much to say though about this, but
Okay.
I would try my best to say something. Um, I kind of agree with something that Tara says before, but I disagree on other areas.
Hmm.
Um, I I'm not sure if I agree entirely with Vijay's point that we just try to encourage other people to give up their part of their wealth to other people. Part of the reason I disagree with those things is because something that Tara said before, something that she mentioned,
Hmm.
that things have been in this way for a very long time,
Hmm.
and society operates in this kind of way, and it's very difficult to see it operating in a different way. It has always been like this. There have always been this group of people uh, divided by their possession, and whether it is lands or properties or belongings or um, family names. There have always been division, and what money create, I think it's not just my opinion, but it is always also demonstrated that it creates division, separation, and it has always also been demonstrated that money creates influence and power. And history shows us that those who are in power tend to maintain the power. They don't want to lose their influence. And one way that they can get this is, having a lot of money. And yes, it creates some kind of division, some kind of influence on the society. Let's take just one simple example. I don't want to put the entire human history in just one example, but it is an example. The Titanic event, where when the Titanic was sinking, and when they realized that it's gonna go on the bottom of the ocean, they wanted to save first the wealthy. They separated, they closed with lockers and keys the the lower section of the boat, and the lower section were reserved for lower class citizens, those who were poor. Um, they tried to save the wealthy first because they considered that the wealthy were more important. They were a more important part of the society. Whether or not they were, in fact, is irrelevant, but that's what money creates, creates these feelings that some people have more power and therefore they are superior, or they have some other status, and they are deserving either more respect or more influence. And another way to demonstrate this is just looking at etiquettes around the world, especially in the past, when they make a difference between the novelty and the rest of the citizens. Uh, the regular citizens were expected to behave a certain way towards those who were in power, those who had the money. Um, because they had the money, right? They were the more important one. So I think that as long as we have money, a monetary system, we are going to see these differences. I don't think it's going to change because since a very early age, we are taught to fight for what we need, fight for what we want. You are being educated according to what you are going to need in your future. You're not being educated to help humanity. You are being educated to get a job, to prepare yourself for a future job. Universities offer careers. They don't offer humanity service to the world and ways to help humanity. Let's just take laws for example. Laws are not meant to help the entire world, the entire society as a species, but rather just to keep certain values, just to keep certain rules in place or certain um, status. And a lot of people are studying that career just to have that job. Um, I think that as long as we have a monetary system, things are not going to change. We are going to see divisions. We are going to see the wealthy. They're going to see medium class citizens and the lower class citizens. And as we progress in this world, we are going to see the separation even more. The rich will become richer, and the poor will become poorer. And I don't see a way to get out of this other than I don't know if you're all familiar with the Venus Project, but I think that's the only solution that we're going to have. We need to get rid of the monetary system at all. The solution is a little bit more radical than just telling people try to help other people, be kind, be altruistic. So that's what I think. The only way to get out of this vicious circle, is supporting the Venus Project. Sorry if it was a bit long.
So Johnny, I had to step away for 1 second, but that you were at the very end. You were talking about the Venus Project. What is that? It's a project to get rid of the current monetary system.
It is a replacement for the monetary system. Right now, everything turns around money. If you have money, you can get things. And in a resource-based society, you don't have to have money. If you need something, you're given something. If you have something that you don't need, you give that something to someone who needs. In that way, you don't need to study any career to get money. You study to help humanity, because studying for a career would not make sense, like studying laws, for example, or studying some other things that have no relationship with humanity as a species, but rather just to help you get money.
Okay.
Can I?
Go ahead. Question. Go ahead.
Okay, about the Venus project. Don't you think it will close all doors toward invention?
Actually, it would boost humans' creativity, because now people have to. Well, then people have to think about ways to make everything last as longer as it can. Right now, everything that is being invented, everything is being manufactured, it is designed to get obsolete after a certain time. Like printers, computers, cell phones, whatever electronic device that you can think of are designed to last just a certain period of time. In a vast resource world, everything is designed to last as long as possible. So people have to come up with ways to achieve that. Even the way that buildings are built.
Okay.
Can I
Go ahead,
can I
Serge, go
ask?
ahead. Sure, go ahead.
Can I ask Richard about the chair? So is it absolute or not? Chair behind you. When is it old or new? Why chair remains the same as 200 years ago maybe, but cells should be absolute? I don't agree with that. How old this chair behind you, Richard?
I'll let Johnny answer that.
I don't know how old your chair is, but I can answer about printers and cell phones and electronic devices. They are designed to last only a certain period of time, because if they manufacture things that are gonna last forever, they don't make any profit out of it. They don't make money, because if I can sell you a cell phone that it will last forever in your hand, then you will not have any reasons to come back.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. So what is the commodity that is exchanged in this type of world where there's no what, like, and I think you said it, that, in some past times, people bartered, right? You traded a chair for a
Yes.
couch or whatever,
Yeah.
not couch, but for food, okay?
Yeah.
You picked fruit from a tree,
Yeah, I
you
got it.
traded it for, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So under a barter system, you traded goods, right? That was a commodity, right?
Commodity.
Commodity is what we define as the transaction, the form of transaction you take. Like today, oil is a commodity. You can exchange oil for things, right?
Okay.
You can exchange money for things. Okay, obviously, money is the
Right.
commodity that. Okay, so how in the world you're talking about? What is the commodity? Are we exchanging knowledge? What is
Nothing.
it we're exchanging?
Nothing. You're not exchanging anything. You are either taking or giving up what you need or what you don't need. You're not required to receive anything in return. For example, if you are living in that house and let's say that you need a computer for your work, just go to a store where they have computers, just take one, go to your house, plug it, you use it. You don't use it anymore, go to that store, return it, and somebody else will take it up. Whatever you need food, just go to the store, you take out some food, go to your house and eat it, and that's it. They are not required to ask you, give me something in return. There is no exchange in that kind of scenario.
But human.
Who will do all the jobs? For example, who will prepare the foods or chairs or cars or name it? Who will prepare it?
Well, it is believed that we have technology enough to manufacture androids and robots that will do that hard job. The ones that we can do. They are gonna do it.
And what about humans' needs? Because humans are not absolute. They're not aesthetic. Humans always want more.
Whatever it is. You need
Humans
a
always want
bicycle,
more.
go for a bicycle. You need food, go for food. You need to travel, just travel around the world. Whatever you need.
Yeah, but you for example, a computer. They make a computer that lasts forever. But if you do that, you would not go after a computer that can work faster.
Exactly.
And could show you better things,
Exactly.
work harder.
Exactly. If you already manufacture the perfect computer, you don't need any other computer. If there is a new version of a computer that can offer better features, then you can go and return that computer and take the new one. You're not required to put money, to give money, or to give something that belongs to you in exchange for that. That's not the point. The point is you need something. We have enough resource to provide that for you.
So in the environment you're talking about, Johnny, and let me make sure, basically there would be a lower level of competition, right? People would not be competing against each other. It would always be about collaborating, right?
Depending on what you mean by competition, because they can compete about who gets to develop the first vaccine, perhaps, right? Who gets to develop the first long-lasting chair, or you will see a different kind of competition. Who has the best project for going to Mars, or the best spaceship design, something like this, but not for money.
But how do you incentivize people? How do you give people incentive to? It go back to, I think Tara brought up the point about innovation. Part of the reason why we have innovation is because people compete, and there's a financial part to it. People compete for a better product, a higher quality product, a faster product, et cetera, et cetera. So how does that impact? I guess.
I can show you that with an example. If you have something broken on your house, and you say, for example, let's say that you need something to hold your toothpaste, right? And and you see that you have two items, laying down somewhere there, and you say, well, if I can join this and I can attach this to this and put it on the wall, I can put my toothpaste there, and if I can do that, I can tell my nephew to do that in the same way, so that he can put his toothpaste on the wall like that. What is your motivation to do that? Did you expect money in return, or do you just want to help others? You just want to help yourself, perhaps, or maybe you have this idea that you say, "Huh, it works," and I think it's a very good idea. I want to share with everybody.
Well, I think people have. I don't think that's a simple answer. I think it's multiple parts. There is a money aspect to it, but certainly some people do it because they enjoy the idea of coming up with a better product or a better whatever.
Right.
So, but it's not exclusively that, because again, if I have an idea about something. And I want to get people to support my idea. Let's say I want to come up with a new type of computer, but I don't have the resources to do so. So I need to get other people to work with me to do so. Are they going to do that only because it's a good idea, or are they expecting some kind of monetary compensation? I think we know the answer to that. Okay, so most people are going to try to do something, but there is also a reasonable expectation that money is involved, right?
Well, the reason that money is, the expectation exists is only because they need it, right? If you're required to pay every month your bills and to provide for your family, and the only way to do that is by getting money, so you have this motivation that you need to have money from somewhere, right? And if you are spending your time on something, you would expect that your time is well invested, right? So that you can have that to provide to your family, right? But if you don't have that requirement, if somebody tells you, Rick, you don't have to have money, your bills are all paid already. You don't have to pay for electricity or food or your gasoline or whatever you need to put on your wall, like a picture, a clock, whatever you need. You don't need to have money for that. So what's your motivation to have money? Money will be useless in that sense. Why would you have to have money if it will not do anything to you?
Yeah, no, I understand your point. Again, it's basically but there always has to be something that's exchanged. I believe, because again, if somebody, let's say they have a big family, they want a 4-bedroom house compared to somebody that wants a small house. Okay, so again, human nature, this goes beyond money. I think the human nature is such that we will always, not everybody wants the same thing, right?
That's fine. No, nobody is required to have the same thing. You want a bigger house? You can have a bigger house. You want a smaller house? You can have a smaller house. It wouldn't make sense in that kind of world that you want to be better than your neighbors, perhaps. It wouldn't make sense because, it wouldn't make sense. And if you have a bigger house, if you don't have a big family, so why do you need a big house for?
Yeah, but it's not about making. Go ahead. Go ahead, Tara.
I think Johnny is talking about heaven.
A lot of people mention the word utopia too. It's not a perfect world. There are gonna be things that is gonna be challenging. Like bringing people on board the idea. It's not a utopia, but it's certainly a better world than what it is today.
But doesn't it need any organizing?
Yes, of course.
Who will do that? Who will do that?
No humans.
Volunteer?
Not humans.
But, oh my God.
They're not good at organizing things, so yeah.
Okay, so this is when the aliens come from outer space. They're going to do this.
Yeah.
Computer. Artificial intelligence.
Okay. I don't want to live in a world where I'm controlled by computers. Okay. That's not the world I want to live in. Okay. Thank you, Johnny. Interesting.
Thank you, everyone, for giving me this space and support the Venus Project. Okay.
Johnny.
Okay. So let's go ahead. I've got. Yeah. Thank you. I've got to go shortly.
Excuse me.
Yes, Bijan. Go ahead, Bijan. Go ahead.
Excuse me, I want to say that I appreciate the revolutionary suggestion of Johnny, but I want to ask about it how to change the will, I mean the will or volition of people to accept this idea, because too many people around the world that don't want to work anymore, and they want to just only sit in their houses and watch their monitors and I mean the increase or decrease of their stocks. I mean, how to persuade such wealthy people that don't want to change this world, as Johnny said.
Okay, Johnny, if you're here, do you want to answer that real quickly? Then we're going to move on to Soso. Okay, he might not be here anymore. Bijan, he left. I think he said Venus Project. I think that's.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so let's go ahead. I think we have Soso. Soso. Okay, maybe she's not here or her microphone's muted. Soso, is your microphone muted? Okay, Samia. Hello. I hear either.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good evening.
Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we hear
How are
you.
you?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead and tell us what you think, please. Are you here?
Yes, I'm here, but I tried to listen to your discussion to understand the topic.
Yeah.
But it is somewhat difficult.
Yeah, we're talking about income inequality and what the impact is to society and what some of the possible solutions would be. That's the topic. So income inequality. So what do you think?
Yeah, really. Income. May you ask another person? I think about this and then I talk.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I think the only other person that's left is
it's better.
Yeah, Soso or Pritam, but I don't think either one are here or speaking right now. So I'm going to tell you guys what I think, and then we'll wrap up. So here's how I think.
Yes, I will speak.
Okay, Pritam, go ahead. Pritam. Tell us what you think, please.
Yes, yeah. As for the topic, does income inequality create problem in the society? To me, to be transparent to you, as we know, we are there. We don't have no ceiling or head, no roof, but here we have clear sky. To me, it is not a problem in the society because we have some example. You can take example of Sundar Pichai, who is the CEO of Google, and here's one more example of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. You can take example of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam when he was a child and he dreamed that one day he would fly the airplane and like missile. But he dreamed, if he dreamed of this, that he would one day he would fly airplane and things. But to achieve his goal, what he did, he used to sell newspapers and to make means ends for the family. But he didn't demand for help for the rich person like Bill Gates and here Mukesh Ambani. And for you can take example of Sundar Pichai, who is CEO of Google. He did work hard and took admission in the engineering college in IIT in India, and from where he got a degree of engineering, and then went to the United States. Over there, he interviewed and got selected in the Google company. But to me, that the income inequality doesn't create problem. Instead, it promotes the meritocracy and natural skills. If we put apart the idea of poverty, because the idea of poverty may have different definition, where government can take responsibility of this. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Pritam. So let me, only because I do have to go in a few minutes, so let me go ahead and I know I don't think Soso's back yet, and Samia, give you another minute to think about it. What I'm going to do real quickly is I'm going to give you guys my perspective, then we'll go to Samia, then we'll wrap up. So, when I look at this, I look at it from a couple different perspectives. And I struggle a little bit. Soso asked a really good question yesterday about whether it would be right for people that have been more successful financially to have to pay a larger burden or a larger share of responsibility in society, like taxes. That's a tough question to answer. And the reason why it's a tough question to answer is because you should not penalize people for wanting to be successful financially. There shouldn't be a penalty for that, right? I mean, each person has, maybe not everybody, we don't always get to choose the environment we're born into. We don't choose the family we're born into. We don't choose the economic situation that we're born into. Okay, and there may be other factors as well, but I would make the argument that most people do have some choice in their life. They can take something that Tara said, I really believe in, is individual responsibility, good or bad. So my point is, if somebody makes a choice and they're smart about how they do it, and they end up being, having a high income, that person shouldn't be punished just because they wanted to work a little bit harder or get additional skills, okay? The individual should not be punished for showing more initiative or being more innovative, okay? Because once you start penalizing people in those areas, I believe you shut down things like initiative, you shut down things like innovation, you inhibit people from working extra hard or learning new skills. So I think the better choice is to, instead of putting people down or pushing people down, lifting people up, okay? What we call the bottoms-up approach. And how do you do that? Well, I think there is a shared responsibility. I think Anna said it earlier. Let me look at my paperwork. I think it was Anna that said, or no, Tara, you said it. So basically, it was looking at the different ways to minimize income inequality. So what are some of the ways that we talked about? Government has a large role. Whatever country you live in, government has a large role because government has ability to set policy. They have ability to invest into training programs, okay? They have the ability to influence the educational system, okay? So certainly government does play a very large role. Private industry, companies, we have a word that we use sometimes, and Dreams in Motion is one of these types of companies. It's what we call a social entrepreneurship. What does that mean? It means a company that has social values, that is not only looking at how large the profit can be, but also what can it do to help society and help address some social issues, okay? So to me, those kind of companies are responsible because not only are they looking at how they can make a profit, which is important for a company,
Okay,
but
I have a
how, well,
question.
let me, but no, Pritam, wait until I'm finished. Wait until I'm finished,
Hmm.
please, okay? So they have the responsibility not only to generate a profit, but they also have a responsibility in society to help address some of the social issues, okay? So that's two. Number three, the educational institutions. They need to be focused on the jobs of the future. The technology, what in the next 15, 20, 30, 40 years, what will be the areas of growth from an economic standpoint? Again, it doesn't make sense to me if you have 10 universities in your country and all 10 universities are focusing on agriculture as a major, and you live in a country where there is little agriculture, okay? It doesn't make sense to me to, for 10 out of 10 universities to offer maybe software development if that changes to the future to new type of technology. So you need to have the right mixture, the right diversity that meets the long-term needs of it. And don't think only of your country. I think when we think about educational institutions, we have to think about the global economy. Okay, the global economy, not just about the economy in your country. So when these institutions offer their courses, they have to work with private industry. They have to work with the government to make sure that they are preparing people at a global level for the jobs of the future. The last one I'll say is again the individual responsibility. Nobody can make us learn more. Nobody can make us spend extra time to learn a new skill. That's a choice we make. We choose how to spend our time. So to me, the individual has to take the responsibility of finding those opportunities, of doing the research to make sure they're going to the right university to get the right major for the right careers, okay? That's an individual responsibility, okay? Okay, Pritam, you had a question?
Yes, so should we include the idea of poverty to this topic? Because it has own definition where government can take responsibility.
Well, poverty is a part of it. Poverty is certainly a
But it
part
is
of it.
part, yes, it is part of the topic.
Yes. It is part of the topic because again, look at the definition of income inequality, the gap between those that have and those that don't. Okay, so part of the problem is that for those people that don't have money, okay, or high income, why don't they have the high income?
But it cannot be equal as mathematically,
What do you mean?
If, for example, if someone has more money and someone has less money, they cannot have equal amount of money.
Well, no. I'm not suggesting that everybody has the equal amount of money. I don't think anyone is. I don't think anyone's suggesting that everybody has exactly the same amount of money. I think what we're saying is, and we said this yesterday, at a general level, there are three classes when we talk about, at least in my country, three classes when we talk about income. There's upper class, middle class, lower class. Okay.
Yes, here it is here too in India.
Okay. So the point I'm trying to make is to minimize that difference between the upper class and the lower class. If you try to minimize that, what do? You end up with a larger middle class. The larger middle class means that more people have the income to be able to buy a home, to start a family, okay, to travel, to invest, okay? That's what that means. it's not about eliminating. In a perfect world, you would eliminate the lower class, okay? But that's never going to happen, okay? That's reality. It's never going to happen. You will always have some people that have more and some people that have less, okay? But at least you could try to find a way to increase the number of people in the middle class, and again, how do you do that? One way to do it is to create high-paying jobs. How do you create high-paying jobs? You do it by understanding what careers are going to be important in the future. Bioscience, okay, medical, okay. There are many. If you look at the future, there are many careers that are growing, okay. And if we try to find a way to incentivize or to provide incentive to people to get these additional skills so they can increase their income level. Now they're no longer in the lower class. Now they have the ability to buy a home or invest or, whatever it is, start a family, okay? So the point is that we have to think about, creating the opportunity for people. We have to think about creating the jobs for people, and then making sure people have the right skills to do those jobs, right?
But it used to be the idea of communism, and it was like just utopia, and it's not going to be fulfilled.
No.
The
The
real.
difference. Well, let me tell you what I think, and again, we have people from different countries, different culture. My perspective is that there's nothing wrong. In my opinion, there's nothing wrong with if you work extra hard or you are smart about the way you invest. There's nothing wrong with having more, okay? Because you earned it, okay? You earned it,
Yeah.
okay? That to me, that's fine. That's fine. What I'm trying to say though is that when people have a good paying job because they have connections, that's wrong, I think. Okay, I don't agree with that. People should have a good job because they earned that job. They're qualified for the job, not because they have a connection. Okay, people that are So I have certain areas that I believe where people, if they work hard, again, if they do it on what we call their own merit, then they have the they can choose their own life. Okay, I'm not going to tell somebody how they should or shouldn't live their life, but it should be based on a level, what we call level playing field, and that means that all people have the same opportunity. What happens in society is that not all people are given that same opportunity. Some people are not given access to a education. Some people are not given access to other things, to training. Okay. So if you give everybody the same opportunity in terms of training or education, and then it's up to them, right? So my perspective is you're never going to have a society where everyone is equal. It's not going to happen, okay? But you can have a society that seeks to find more opportunity for people to be lifted up and have those resources to have a good life, okay?
But what government can do in this?
I just said it. I said it earlier. Well, to me, the government has a role that they place to work with private industry, with educational institutions, okay, to give people the right education, to give people the right training, okay? That's the role government can play. I don't think the role of government is necessarily to hand out things to people. In some cases, yeah, in some cases that is their role. But in a lot of cases, I think the role of government is to provide leadership, okay, to industry, to educational institution, okay, to provide those kind of opportunities for people. I think that's the role of government. Okay, that's my opinion. Okay, all right. So okay, I see. Okay, so because I have to leave in 10 minutes, Samia, did you want to say something? And I see Rajano's here. Hey, Rajano. Samia, did you want to say something?
Yeah, Richard.
Yes.
Actually, I agree with your opinion. Really, it is nice, and also I have another opinion. It's about, for example, as you told. The government shouldn't hand down the company or individual people to earn lower money, and maybe some person have a good sense to earn more money if they are extreme hard, work harder, and I think it would be a good idea that, for example, if someone individual increase his or her income, beside the increasing of his or her incoming, it's better to do something for the society. For example, he can as a entrepreneur create some jobs, and in this way the government doesn't take much tax from his incoming, and another example, for example, if he or she recruits more people in his company or in his factory, so it's better that they should be accepted from tax, and in this way the government can encourage these companies, these people to earn more and more.
Okay. 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 I think that, yeah, I mean, there are ways to incentivize people, right? There are ways to provide them the incentive or the motivation to increase their own financial situation, right?
Yeah, I have an example for here. In India, here we have caste systems, upper caste system and lower caste system. But the people who are from lower caste system has a facility of reservation. It is just incentive to the people of lower caste to make to help them to uplift from the level. That's the thing.
Okay. Yeah, there are initiatives, there are programs out there. I think that there are different ways that there isn't, in my opinion, there is not one answer. You have to take a comprehensive look at it and look at all the different factors that create that gap in the first place. And then you have to try to identify solutions that address all those factors, because there isn't just one factor. There's multiple factors, right? There's many factors. So in order to resolve an issue can be very complicated, sometimes it takes a complicated answer, okay, or a comprehensive answer, okay? So, all right. Well, listen, I do have to go. I have some things I definitely have to take care of this afternoon, but it was a very interesting discussion. I think Johnny recorded this on YouTube, so if you guys want to hear it, I think he did record it. I believe he did record it. So if you want to hear it, you're certainly welcome to listen to it as well. Very interesting points made by everybody, I thought. Okay, so I've got to get going. We have our debate tomorrow earlier.
Okay, Richard, thank you for your speaking. It was nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, no,
Yes,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank all of you for participating. And again, for people like Sesh, haven't seen you in a long time, but hope all of you are doing good. And thank you so much again for participating, okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay, no, you're welcome. We'll talk to you guys later, okay?
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Bye bye.